as we're getting into our next qualifying match, a fresh best of 5. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open for how you think this series is going to go. You have a couple of minutes here to place your bets for those predictions. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Hardled, we have the Ukrainian Protoss player representing Hot-Headed Gaming. It is NightPhoenix. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Protoss player, the Orange Protoss, representing Team GDA. It is Déca. Déca, yeah, we got it. Here we go. The PvPs, they don't stop coming. They do not stop. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm okay with PvPs. I like it. Hold on. Let me just fix up the player names on, there we go. Bam. On the screen, as NightPhoenix is a bit of a cat girl. It is known. But for now, it's going to be double gate openers all around. Once again, there is no ramp coming into the natural base, so unlikely for us to get an economic opener for a gate expand or anything crazy like that. It should be double gates all around. Déca is going to be Déca is going to be going for a proxy pylon out on his side of the map, so it's going to be a fake proxy pylon just to get into the head of NightPhoenix. And we'll see how NightPhoenix responds here as he throws down his own second pylon in his own main base. Huge difference, art and art. Can't believe how I missed it. I'm glad that you've recognized it. It is something that can not be forgiven if you miss it. One letter capitalization difference, as we do see a probe scout and we come across the proxy Stargate. NightPhoenix does see what is coming his way, is going to be getting ready for the Oracle. Oh, actually going for his own Stargate as a response. Interesting choice. From here, NightPhoenix is most likely to go into Phoenixes. Of course, still has to get Stalkers in position because the Oracle will hit first from Déca, and NightPhoenix will have to get ready for that. As the Oracle's on the way, expansion is being taken. Likewise, we should see an expansion momentarily here from NightPhoenix as well, once we get those Stalkers out and once they get in position. And there it is, there's that expansion. So even though we had a very explosive PvP between Art and Spats, a PvP that very rarely had any saturation and any mining. It was one base all in after one base all in after one base all in. Here, we're actually getting into our natural bases. We're actually macroing. We're actually getting into more of a mid-game setup. I appreciate it. Here we go. Meanwhile, we have our follow-up as well. This is going to be the Twilight Council. First Oracle gets across the map, but there's a Phoenix waiting for him. NightPhoenix, true to his name, making Phoenixes. And this Oracle is going to have a hard time finding any damage whatsoever. Doesn't dip in towards that natural. The Stalkers are in position. Going to rotate around towards the towards the main base instead, where there is a shield battery. And we have more Phoenixes on the way. The Oracle dives in, but the Phoenixes will force it to dive on out. And we will shut this down. In the end, this Stargate opener does nothing. The pylon was, or the Stargate was depowered. Oracle goes down. And now NightPhoenix can push out across the map. And what do we have at home to defend? We have 4 Stalkers, and they can be CC'd by the Phoenixes. Déca is in a lot of trouble. And here comes the army. We do have a proxy pylon across the map, but the army pushes in. One Stalker already does go down. A little bit of miscontrol. We do target down some of those rocks instead by accident. But down goes another Stalker. Oof. And it looks like NightPhoenix is snowballing out of control. Déca, unable to keep up here, was caught out. Again, the Stargate did not pay for itself. It was just resources down the drain. A GG gets called, and NightPhoenix does take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. It wasn't just the Stargate, but also the fact that we had a very late scout. We had no shield batteries at the natural. Without a shield battery, without an overcharge, there was no way for the army to support itself to defend against the eventual push from NightPhoenix. It all just escalated very quickly, out of control. Ooh, very quickly indeed. And with that, NightPhoenix takes game 1. And now we get ready for game number 2. Let's go. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other games that are still ongoing. Just getting a couple of results coming in. We were just notified that apparently Nikic is about to start versus another player. For Jimmy versus Nikic, oh, that's a spicy PvZ. It's one of those things where I wish I casted more Nikic. Every time I cover him, like, I'm always pleasantly surprised by his aggression and what he brings to the table. Always surprised, but yeah, don't really get to cover him too often. Maybe we can catch that series after this. Maybe. As for now, here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hecate, we have our Ukrainian Protoss player. A Ukrainian Protoss player representing Hot-Headed Gaming. Ooh, it's the Blue Protoss. Leading the series 1-0. It is NightPhoenix. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the Orange Protoss player from the land of France, representing Team GDA. It is Déca. Like an explosive game number 1. NightPhoenix essentially going for a 1-base all-in, didn't even decide to saturate the natural, just committed to warpins, committed to a push. But now we find ourselves in game 2, and we'll see what kind of direction we go in, where we end up taking it all. Again, we have casted Déca in the past. I believe we covered Déca during a Team League match with Team GDA. And they did well for themselves. They did do well for themselves. Ooh. And even leading into this, if I'm not mistaken, I think Déca took down Exo Striker. Am I crazy? I saw results like that. Let me just double check. And sorry, it was Ashbringer. Yeah, Déca took down Ashbringer, which is not an easy player to bring down. So very well done here by Déca to make it this far into a qualifying match. But against NightPhoenix, oh, it is a bit of a stronger player to face off against. Déca going for another proxy pylon out here on the right hand side. This time it will not be used, so it's just going to be a fake proxy. Going to try to get into the head of NightPhoenix. Try to get him to second guess himself if possible. And there we go. The probe is going to be scouting the left hand side of the map. Is going to be patrolling around. Likewise, I'm sure we're going to be getting this probe here over towards, yep, the right hand side to try to scour the map as well. As Déca's probe scout comes in, does confirm the second pylon. Knows that he is safe and sound. And both players should be looking to expand. Should it be looking to expand? The first probe almost being hunted down as well. Do you have to take care? It does manage to escape here, and oh my god, NightPhoenix gonna be reacting quite hard here. We have a third gateway and a robotics facility on the way. This is as if we're reacting to a 1-base all-in. NightPhoenix can of course turn this on its head into his own 1-base all-in, but my oh my, we are not going to be taking the expansion. Meanwhile, we now go in for a scout, and we confirm that the Nexus has been taken. NightPhoenix now has to commit. There's no turning back. Not from this. There we go. Warp gate is on the way. Third gateway getting up and running. And NightPhoenix is going to be pushing out across the map. Back at home, what kind of defensive setup do we have? We have a Twilight Council on the way, not a Robo. Oh, so no Immortals or a Warp Prism. Hallucination is coming in for a scout. It is going to be spotted, but it won't be denied. as the stalkers have been seen. We do warp in across the map. We have a decent defensive position, but only 2 gateways, so the army here is looking quite small. No shield battery, by the way, no overcharge. And I don't think Déca can actually fight for control of his natural. There are just too many stalkers. We saw something similar in game 1 where we didn't have any shield batteries, didn't have any overcharges. And this expansion will go down. Déca going for a ninja base? He's crazy. Oh my god. Going for another Nexus instead. That is a lot of resources spent, not at home by the way, because NightPhoenix is all in. NightPhoenix does not intend on slowing down. Yeah, we cancel. I was about to say that we can't afford this. We can't afford a ninja base. Déca supply blocked. Aye. We can't warp in. 2 more gates are on the way. Pylon now thrown down. Not like this. The force field is about to run out. We do have enough engine for another force field. We can hold on a little bit longer. There it is. Good juggling out of NightPhoenix. Behind this, NightPhoenix is expanding. And he will get this gateway. Once again, good control. Overcharges popped. We have enough DBS. We can focus down one unit after another. The sentries, the stalkers. Everything is going down. The boys are pulled though, and we do manage to get up 2 stalkers. Again, we just barely weren't able to juggle. Bit of miscontrol there out of NightPhoenix. But the overcharge does run out, and we can just push on in. And it looks like there's just too much DPS here from our Ukrainian Protoss player. Takes down 2 more stalkers. We'll lose 1 in the process. That's a kill, not a cancel on the gateway. And Déca has run out of steam. GG gets called. NightPhoenix takes game number 2. And we're blazing through these PvPs. Oh my god. Who needs 2 bases? Who needs expansions? Who needs probes in a PvP? Let's be real here. Let's be real. Oh my god. And now Déca is up against the wall, and I wish Déca the best of luck coming into game 3 because the pressure is on. We cannot slip up. We cannot make any more mistakes. Not again. Not like this. Here we go. And here we go. We're getting into this and spawning in the top right hand corner of Alkioni. Sorry, just some things going on. Just some things going on, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Alkioni, we have the Ukrainian Protoss player representing Hot Headed Gaming, leading the series. As I do fix this up, leading the series 2-0. 1 game away from making it into the ESL Masters Winter European main event. It is NightPhoenix. Hold on, I will some stuff going on. Which I do apologize. Can I actually do anything about this? Okay, just in case. Huh. Huh. Sorry, some other things going on in the left. In the bottom left-hand corner of our Keone, we have our French Protoss player representing Team GDA. It is Déca. Oh, let's go. One base all in again. I apologize for being a little bit distracted. But I guess we have some good news. We have some good news, and I don't want to take it away from this. We can talk about it a little bit more later, but we have announced the recovery of a Duckling. The recovery of a Duckling. Dolan, of course, the Danger Dolan, the American Terran player, has rejoined the CranKy Ducklings, and we did post an announcement for it, but we did actually make a mistake in the announcement, so we have to just repost it in a couple of... hopefully before the America's Closed Qualifier. So yeah, just have to sort some stuff out with that. It's all good. Feels bad, man. But a shout out to Kura. Kura was actually working on the graphics for the announcements, and we'll fix the graphics. We'll get everything sorted, and hopefully we should be able to actually finalize the announcement in a couple of hours, again before the America's qualifier. That is the plan. As for now, we are getting into this, and we have a proxy Stargate. So not a one base all in. Proxy Stargate is just designed to cripple the economy, just to harass, of course, and get some economic damage done. So get some economic damage done here instead, and we'll see if we can pull it off. Meanwhile, back at home, NightPhoenix just going to be looking to expand, and for the first time, we can get... Oh, never mind. I was about to say we can get into two-base play, but the Oracle dips into the main base, confirms the Twilight Council opener. It's going to be getting some worker kills. A lot of workers are going down already. Ay. 4 workers, a lot of lost mining time, and NightPhoenix is doubling down here, throwing down a third gateway and a robo. I thought we were gonna get into a longer game, Papi. My mistake. It looked to be that way, and I mean, I'm sure NightPhoenix is hoping that his opponent thinks that. We are throwing down an expansion, to be fair. Nexus has been confirmed by these adepts. As we threaten to shade into the main, NightPhoenix is enjoying an economic lead at the moment. I'm curious if NightPhoenix plans on actually saturating this expansion, though. Okay. Observers on the way. Second Oracle as well. And NightPhoenix is making probes. I was curious if we were making workers or not, but yeah, probes are on the way. It's all good. Oof. As another unit will go down. NightPhoenix forcing his way in towards the natural base. Déca gonna have to react to this, and that will create an opening as NightPhoenix goes into the main with those two oracles, annihilating the mineral line. 5 more probes go down. 6, 7. We don't have much of an economy left to speak of. The main army breaking on through as well, having a bit of a better trade, taking down some stalkers. Déca down to 18 workers. Ay. And we can just reinforce. Keep the pressure up. Keep the pressure on. And it's at this point, it's kind of a numbers game. I mean, it's taking a while for reinforcements to arrive, so NightPhoenix can't quite snowball the way that he wants to. And he is forced to recall. Going to lose another 2 stalkers. Ay. A rough loss there for NightPhoenix, but behind this, we're on 2 bases. We're not all in. We can saturate the natural. We can back off. And a good catch here from Déca, shutting down these adepts. And shutting down this proxy. And now the game will settle down a little bit. We'll settle down from here. NightPhoenix does have a lead, is ahead currently when it comes to the economy, is behind when it comes to some tech. No Twilight Council. Because they don't have a Twilight Council, there's no Blink for NightPhoenix. I don't think you have to answer that, Déca. NightPhoenix getting a little bit cocky, I feel. But should be aware that NightPhoenix has a lead at the moment. Shaking my head. As NightPhoenix does have a 6 worker lead, building up on these Immortals as well. So these kids. NightPhoenix is like, what, 16, 17? Shaking my head, shaking my head. And again, Déca is not out of this. Yeah, +1 on the way. With Blink, of course, we can try to bypass and outmaneuver the army of NightPhoenix. We can try to dip into the main base or catch a couple of units here and there. Déca can try to catch NightPhoenix off guard. Oh. He's going to dip in, does confirm the Immortals. Because of the Immortal advantage that NightPhoenix has, Déca actually can't engage this head on. That's why I mentioned earlier that, you know, maybe if he's able to spot the move out, he can try to go for a backstab or something along those lines. Maybe try to maintain map control and take another base. As Déca still focused on a Blinkstalker heavy composition. As another another sentry does go down. And again, it's one of those things where NightPhoenix has an advantage, but it's not the largest advantage. It's still something that can be overcome. Army gonna be moving out. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, it has. The Dark Shrine is gonna get caught as well by NightPhoenix. Pylon is shut down. I appreciate it though. I appreciate that Déca was just trying to throw a bit of a curveball, come out of left field. And from here, Déca will back off. And now NightPhoenix has a lot of momentum. I mean, we're up on Immortals. We have a relatively even Stalker count. Well, NightPhoenix actually behind in Stalkers. But with these Immortals, there's just such a powerful backbone to this army. And we should be able to break through. And we'll see if we can. Force fields are thrown down. Thankfully, we do have Blink, so we can avoid some of this. Overcharge is pop-up with the amount of Immortals that we have. It's just going to be too much. Shield battery goes down. Overcharge does run out as a result. And NightPhoenix is just going to be able to break through this army. The boys are being pulled, though. We are tanking a lot of shots. And we dive on top of the Prism. Déca pulling off a bit of a defense here. Only one Immortal is left. It looks like with the Weapon of Stalkers, NightPhoenix will be losing his army. Not for free, though. Did take down 7 workers. So NightPhoenix still ahead when it comes to the economy overall. Does have a third base on the way, but can NightPhoenix survive this counterattack? Again, we have +1, we have Blink. Déca now putting NightPhoenix on the ropes. No shield battery. Uh-oh. No shield battery is available. Déca with the higher Stalker counts can break through. The boys, they have to be pulled, but is it going to be enough? Going for another warping of units, but it looks like Déca will take out this third. We'll take control of this location, and another Immortal comes out though. And with the Immortal, NightPhoenix holds. Does hold on, but again, this is still quite close. This is still quite close. We're even in workers. Déca, though, still on 2 bases. That is the biggest issue here. We don't have a third. Just now it is thrown down. He's passing. He's 18. It's over, Papi. It's over. You have to be around at least 16 to be in your prime. Ah, Smurge. True. As again, Dark Shrine is thrown down once again from Déca. Whatever we can do to come back. Do we have much detection available here? We do have one observer across the map. NightPhoenix hasn't quite seen the tech yet. Oh, never mind. I have seen the tech. God. Observer spots the Dark Shrine. NightPhoenix aware of what's going on. Should be working on another observer, even cannons here in the mineral lines, just to make sure things don't get out of hand. No one would think of it. I mean, it works though. That's the thing. People wouldn't go Dark Shrine when behind if it didn't work. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. But in this state though, because it's been scouted, again, there's an observer back at home. NightPhoenix is ready for it. Is going to be secure on these 3 bases, working up towards our Robotics Bay into Disruptors. And I'm at least glad that Déca is going to be making a game out of this, especially after the early game and after sustaining so many losses. It is good to see that Déca can still keep up and potentially overcome. There it is, 2 Dark Templar being morphed in. There is an observer covering the ramp though. And cannons in position as well. Déca going to try to distract NightPhoenix's main army. Going to pull away his attention. DTs do waddle in, but again, we have cannons. Oh. Yeah, the DTs have to recall back home. At least they don't go down. They do have to recall. And the nail in the coffin here is going to be the Disruptors. The quality of army for NightPhoenix is just that much higher with these Disruptors, with these Purification Novas. As he's working towards his second robo for double Disruptor production. Déca just 1 step behind. As NightPhoenix is even working on a 4th base. As mine through the middle patches working on that 4th. And again, Blink Disruptor, that's kind of what you want here in the mid game. It's so difficult to keep up with, especially when you have a more immobile army like this, with Charge Lots, Archons, Immortals. The Blink Stalkers, sure, they can avoid the Novas. Everything else cannot. And there's a reason why it's just such a pivotal unit. Pivotal units in PvP. So we're getting into additional Disruptors. ask him about his pros. True. Get him, Poppy, get him. 4th base on the way. And the GTs are waddling on in, but we have cannons set up already. We at least are able to catch some of these transferring workers. Not too bad. 3 workers do go down. The Disruptors have been spotted. Now we throw down a Robo and a Bay, but this is just a little bit too late. As a reaction, NightPhoenix already has 3 Disruptors. But we have a good concave. Yo, we dive on it. We focus on 1, 2, 3 Disruptors, but 1 Nova does go off. And 1 Nova, sometimes all it takes. Good snipe, so the final Disruptor will fall. But Colossus have hit the field. Skillus, is that you? The Colossi have arrived at Déca being forced back. Oof. Immortal going down. Despite that, Déca is gaining ground, forcing back NightPhoenix. And now we're getting into our own Disruptors. And even though Déca may be down slightly in supply, 20 supply, it means nothing. It means nothing in the face of Purification Novas. Really, they're even, Pappy. They're even. And we're getting a game out of this. Déca working on his own 4th. Again, is slightly behind in the economy, but overall, still able to keep up. So DTs are on the way. Again, it all comes down to these Purification Novas. If we can land 1 solid connection, we can take a fight. Déca knows that. He knows he has a chance. As NightPhoenix works towards that gold base as well. Oh, I see in the chat we're getting some updates. Arrowfire took down Mindle VK, they went to the ace match? Oh my god. Yo, Mindle's been looking good. Mindle's been on fire recently. To go to the ace match against Fire, that is impressive. Shout out to Mindle, papi. He has been impressing us a lot recently. In team league matches, in individual leagues as well. Meanwhile, the armies are going to be clashing. Again, 3 disruptors versus 3 disruptors. At the same time, Zealot Runback comes in, but Déca does keep up. Does shut it down. Up! Is he looking? He is. Oh, that was 2 Novas. Only 1 is left in the chamber. Déca has to be very careful with how he uses it. With how he does engage. We do see NightPhoenix maxing out at this point. Going for a Stargate, getting ready for a Sky Toss transition. Oh, and Déca is out of position. This 4th base may go down. We're setting up a surround. Oh, Novas are going to be going off. Big connections here on the army of Déca. Likewise, he cannot get his own. He loses his disruptors. And despite coming in for a surround, he just doesn't quite have enough. Here comes another Nova. Up! As Zealots do crash in on the right-hand side, they take down the mineral line. 15 workers go down. NightPhoenix barely coming out on top here. And from this point, it's going to be an uphill battle. Like, there was potential in that fight for Déca, but we didn't land any of those Novas. We had just a really awkward engagement. NightPhoenix, he was able to strike first. And it looks like NightPhoenix should be able to clean this up. Here come the Zealots from behind. The Nexus itself getting low. And this is just becoming too much. We can dive on top of the Immortals. Even though they're amazing against Stalkers, there's just too many of them. Blinks aren't good enough. Déca's gonna barely hold on. But what's he holding on to? He's down to 46 probes. Barely, essentially 2 base saturation. And NightPhoenix is taking a gold, double expanding, rebuilding Colossus disruptors. We had that Stargate earlier, but we don't really have to work towards like Sky Toss or carriers. And GG is gonna get called. It's just too much to overcome. And NightPhoenix will take the series 3-0, qualifying for the ESL Masters Winter European Regional Event. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, NightPhoenix, for making it on through. Did come in as the favorite player, and I guess that's reflected in the overall scores. But shout out to Déca. Shout out to Déca for making it this far. Again, he 2-0'd Ashbringer, which is not an easy thing to do. So again, I was very impressed with how far they were able to go and how far they were able to take it. GG. And yeah, with that, we are getting ready for our next. We have to try to find our next series. We have to try to find where we want to go. There's just so many matches going on at the moment, but it looks like we are slowly wrapping up. What do we have left? What can I jump on? What can I find?